Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terrence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay, all right. So whoever you don't care which one of them you fight. As long
they say they're gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. Let's go.
All right. Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or?
All right, guys, it's Frank Bay. We live, trying out a couple things. Hit a 1 if you guys can hear me. Got some new equipment here, so trying out a couple things. Sorry about that. But let's cook, man. Don't have a long time here for a good time. You're here with Frank Bizet in the building. Let's talk about the screen. You know what time it is, man. Teofimo Lopez out here being extremely racist. Now, I took the bait. See, that's what it amounts to. I feel this is just clickbait, and I'm going around social media, and like I said, hit the like. It's gonna be a little shorter, unless you guys want to hop on and cook. Again, you know what, man? Shout out to the Pastor de Boxeo. You know, Mr. Punch Drunk, you know, he's got Teo's back. Salute to that brother. Support him, like and subscribe. I don't always agree with them, but one thing he did say is a lot of it is just you know, it's clickbait. We don't have a lot of fights going on, big major fights. So, you know, a lot of people are running with this Teo business. And you know, I want to know what you guys think. I mean, what is Teo doing? Now, me personally, in my opinion, what I wanted to cook about was I just feel like it's clickbait. You know what I'm saying? And if you go for it, you're just kind of you know, running with the crowd. And you know, let's see what Teo had to say. I think I played it at the beginning, but let's examine what he had to say.
Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terrence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay, all right. So whoever you don't care which one of them you fight. As long
they say they're gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. Let's go.
All right.
So there it is. Now, so Teo says some controversial things, right? He's talking about monkeys and bananas, but I think he says something interesting in the video. What Teo does say, he says, you know, they call themselves gorillas. So I'm not really here to dissect if it's racist or not. What I feel is like people take the bait, right? Recently, Ryan Garcia was canceled because of the things he said, you know, saying the hard, well, you know, there's the N word, right? And there's a hard ER. And then there's the way, you know, African Americans say it with the A, and they say it as a form of what I've heard explained, brotherly love. You know, me personally, I don't feel it's something that I use, right? But you know, it's a term that is thrown around in society. Now, Teofimo did not go that far, but he did say things that can be seemed as offensive. But you know what, man? I mean, like I said, I'm taking the bait. I'm taking the bait because I see it being talked about, and I wanted to know what you guys think about. You know, is it just clickbait? Is Teo just trying to get attention, which I feel is what he's trying to do? Teo's just, you know, Teo really doesn't have a lot of momentum right now. He's a fighter without a fight. He's a fighter without a fan base. I mean, he fought Josh Taylor last year, and right now he's struggling. He's struggling to find a name, an opponent, and we've seen him get into it with Bud Crawford right at an event. We seen them face to face, and some people, they sided with Bud Crawford, and they salute Abel. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, man. Yesterday, well, the other day or one of the days I was on, I noticed my audio was a little messed up. So you guys got to let me know. I'm trying some different things. But yeah, like I said, I'm taking the bait. I feel it's clickbait. You know, what Teo said it did not seem hateful. It seemed playful. You know, I've heard both sides of the argument. On one side, you have people offended and they're gonna try to cancel Teofimo. And on the other side of the argument, I hear, they say black people talk like that to each other all the time. Devin Haney with his dad was calling Tank Davis a monkey. Salute Frank Bay, Mike. Okay, good. We got I'm gonna try to set it up to where it's crispy, crystal clear. We're trying to upgrade, but yeah, man, that's what it is, man. And again, this is because boxing is slow. What we have Jaime Mungia. Jaime Mungia will be fighting this weekend. I plan to do a breakdown of that fight, a little more in-depth analysis, breakdown odds. Is it a good card? Is it a bad card? And then on Saturday we have Dubai, and Joshua, and Joshua's a big name. What else did we have? We have the opponent name for Stank Davis. There's rumored to be Lamont Roach. That's kind of funny. Lamont Roach. We know he's a 130 pounder. It's a shit fight. I got to give that a resounding 0. That is a 0. That is a F minus. J.A. Frank, did you see the comment schooling the dude on Canelo? Me is only responsible for being a virgin. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. You know what? I mean, I don't know how you feel about Frank. I don't know if you're a fan or a hater, but you know what, man? The more you guys engage, the more you guys talk, the better off I am. I learned that I don't try to. I let the trolls have life. I let the haters have life, because you know what, man? As long as you guys are talking, that's a benefit. I just can't have any hate speech or slander, because we have to abide by guidelines out here. So we don't see the eye to eye on Canelo, but doesn't mean, yeah, man, you know what, man? I welcome the disagreeers. I welcome people that don't agree. That's why I dropped the link. We won't be going too long. I'll be dropping it in a few minutes. But any interaction, any content, I mean, conversations. That's what we're doing, right? My job is to engage in a get the conversation going, right? Because if I come in here and I just pound my fist and try to be a not, a caring about things, then what's there to say? The conversation is started, right? We're the salute a muck. I'm gonna drop the link. You're welcome to hop on, brother. Tell me if you want to, hit the link one time. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. It's this is what we have on the YouTube streets right now. Not a lot going on. Shit, man. Shit, I gotta see how this mic works. I don't know. Okay, you're at the work at the moment. Well, thank you for listening, tuning in. Getting that money, get your money, man. I see you going to battle for the Canelo side against the haters. I see a mug putting work in these streets. It's okay, man. You know what, man? It's better than nothing, right? It's like my grandmother used to tell me, when I complain about working or upset about, she says, well, it's better than nothing. The best feeling in the world is, and my grandfather was a humble man, right? And he actually he made millions as an immigrant. But one of the things he taught me is to appreciate things. Obviously cliche, right? But the best feeling in the world is food in your kitchen and money in your pocket. And that's all a man ever needs, right? And an opportunity. So salute a muck out there working for the people, by the people. Mexican boxing #1. Let's all the H Money channels are mad about what Teo said. The point is Teo's just trying to get the big fights and everybody gets called racist. I agree. It's a conversation starter, right? What he did is working. And people like H Money, he has a channel. Go like, subscribe to him. Not my cup of tea. But man, all these people do, talk boxing. And if I'm out here doing it, I'm gonna talk about everything. That's just what it is. I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna critique. I'm not gonna hate. The brothers talking. Everybody's entitled to their feelings and their opinions. But what we can do is critique it and try to find some truth. Right? What is the truth of the matter? And the truth of the matter is, I believe, it's clickbait. Teo just laughing because African Americans make the big deal out of the most. That's what it's looking like. look, man. Look, we know who the biggest fans and purchasers of boxing are, right? It is the Mexican Americans, Latino fan bases. You know, the Puerto Ricans come out and support. The Asians, the Filipinos, Manny Pacquiao come out and support. The Japanese go out and support Inui. You know, you see what Anthony Joshua, a brother, is doing in the UK. So you know, the sport of boxing can transcend color lines, right? But in America, it's a little more complicated, right? Because it looks like the UK fans they don't see color as much. They'll support white, black. They got the guys like Aziz and some Hamiz and Hamads, and they support. You know, even these Russians like the Khabibs. You know, in the UFC, you got Brazilians, and they all support. Man, it's boxing. Boxing is probably the most tribalistic because you know there's no sports teams. There's not a team. There's just a person and his color, creed, and race and what he supports. You know, like they had what Amok was battling. You know, Mexicans for Triple G. You know, and they hate the little Mexican cinnamon. And guess what he said? He wasn't even racist. You can see what it made. Yeah, the guy doing it. You know, he makes it a point to make like a sound bite, like a clip. Like he did, I don't, you know, he didn't play the whole thing. And it was obviously, to me, it was obvious Teofimo was doing it tongue in cheek. Mars Boxeo, I'm surprised Dante's Nation hasn't made. Look, they'll all jump on it, and that's what I wanted. Pinoys don't really support Japanese, especially. Okay, Muck with the history lesson. Tank Comps, yeah, he calls himself like silverback gorillas. Look, like I said, the reason I wanted to do it is because I'm not here to take the bait. What Teo did was he wants African Americans to take the bait. He wants white people, Mexicans to take the bait. So me as a Latino brother, a Mexican heritage, you know, if I come on here and like it's a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation. If you go to a panel, if you go to a chat and you try to either support Teo, you look like a racist and it turns into a race debate. And Frank Bay, I'm not here to talk about race and politics. I'm here to talk about boxing, but it does bleed into the sport. Yeah, they're all using their angle to hate on Teofimo, but if they feel it's racist, then tell Bud and Tank to shut up. Yeah. I think Bud had said he's gonna beat the burritos out of Benavides, and that's one thing that people have said. You know, Mexicans, I see it on Twitter arguing with people, African Americans. And an argument is made that you know, when people say, "Oh, you're a beaner, border hopper, burrito eater," things, we just laugh. I mean, when Bud said that, I didn't find it as offensive. You know, I don't get offended when they culturally appropriate and wear sombreros to mock the culture. I say, hey, man, you know, it's funny. I find it comical. You know, I find humor in racism, and I find not racism but jokes about race and culture. You know, half of comedy sketches are about race and culture. You know, you make fun of Mexicans make fun of Mexicans, blacks make fun of Mexicans, Mexicans make fun of blacks. And you know, like, I'll show you a sketch. This is something I wanted to bring to the show. So when people say, oh, that's racist, you know, I want to show how in our culture we laugh. You know, when someone's called me a border hop or a beaner, I just say, hey.
Now you threatening me? Nigga, please. Man, forget that, dude. You need to listen, nigga. You'll get your money next week.
You know, and this is, and all you have to do is look around, man. You've matured from a crip to African Americans. Look, man, when I say, look, I'm not gonna back down. I know what I say. When I say that, is just a term that we use to describe you know, certain behaviors. You know, and like I said, Crips are all around the world. German, I mean, there's Asian Crips. Look, man, it's also humorous. You know, like I said, I'm not here to tell you the intricacies of political racial debates, right? I'm not here to break down racial narratives and you know, cry about anything. Salute Hawker, thank you. Yeah, I don't see these things like Mateo. I think he's a Filipino. Floyd Mayweather went on probably the most racist rant in all of boxing. And African Americans didn't speak up. Floyd Mayweather said Manny Pacquiao was a dog eater. And I remember growing up, there used to be roast sessions and Mexicans versus blacks, Mexicans versus Filipinos. We just all racial, we trashed each other. They said, oh, you be wearing quinceañera dresses. What's popping up, cuerpo? Salute, brother. Yes, I'm gonna drop the link. About what Teo, we're talking about the Teo situation and how everybody's taking the bait. So, on Frank Bay, what I do is try to make my case, and my case to you guys. Then about roast sessions. Yeah, man. And like I just played the comedy sketch. Look, man, when African Americans or Filipinos or whites, they make jokes about Hispanic culture or if you're Puerto Rican, you eat red rice and beans. All the cultural probes, right? Yeah, nerd. It. Look, it's bait. It's bait, guys. It's bait to get you to either confirm your racism or try to deny racism, or if an African American wants to do an 8-hour stream and cry and complain, it's like, look, you took the bait. Right. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not getting the bait. I can talk about it. I can say, hey, man, what Teo did was funny to me. It was funny. He's doing what he's trying to get a fight with Bud Crawford. He's stepping to Bud Crawford. He's been calling out Tank Davis. He's trying to get a fight. Floyd went on a Manny Pacquiao eats dog rants. We've seen and heard worse. Mike Tyson wanted to eat Lennox Lewis kids, which is very suspect. Berlanga and Canelo were doing homophobic things. And what's crazy in the sport of boxing is probably the only place where you can get away with these things, right? You can get away. Okay, yeah, you know what, man? Yeah, look, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it because they're taking the bait. Even Frank Bay, I've taken the bait, but I'm not taking the bait to make it a how would you say, a racial debate. I don't find it to be a racial debate, right? If you're quick to go in and want a racial debate, then that's a red flag to me. That's like, oh, okay. See, you want to make something out of nothing. You want to be able to crucify and cancel somebody, and you may freely throw around the word. You may call each other those names and racial tropes, right? And you want to be able to say it to other people and their culture and their race. But when someone else does it, then it's offensive. And it's just kind of magnifying the double standard and the hypocrisy in certain cultures and certain people. And as they say, their true colors come out, right? So the bait would be me saying, defending Teo and making it about race. But I find it to just be funny. I find it to be a comedy sketch, and it also compares to Ryan Garcia, right? When Ryan Garcia went on his rants, Ryan Garcia went and was dropping, I believe, a hard ER, and he really did get canceled. He was getting crucified, he was getting murdered in the social media circles, but he's still around, and it was funny. Again, all these things to me, I find to be comedy. I'm not going to take the bait and make a racial debate about it. Now, if people in the chat, if you guys want to come on and speak your piece and tell me what you think about it and how you feel about it, I respect that. We just can't have any, real racist rants and tirades. Look, my only question is where I stand on it, and my argument is that Teo is just doing clickbait. It's very clickbaitish. It doesn't have any relevance in the sport of boxing. And you know what? Next week, people will forget about it. Teo's an interesting fighter. Obviously, ultra talented. Has some great wins on his resume. Probably has the best wins out of Tank Davis, out of Ryan Garcia, out of Shakur. They called him the Four Kings. He probably arguably has the best wins out of all these guys. But his career has really spun out of control and really been very hesitant with the loss to Cambozo. bouncing back, taking on Josh Taylor, beating him convincingly. They said that Josh Taylor was washed. They're gonna knock you for whatever you do. Teofimo working with Canelo Alvarez was a major plus, but we really don't know what this guy's gonna do. We don't really know what to expect from him. What's next for Teofimo? He Terrence Crawford doesn't seem to want to fight him. So what is he supposed to do? Tank Davis is gonna fight Lamont Roach. Now I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but Tank Davis looks to appear to be fighting another. Now Frank Martin, was he a? Look, man, I didn't think Frank Martin was that bad of an opponent. But we look at what the 135 division, because that's who Teo ultimately called out. You got Davis, Lomachenko, Zepeda, Stevenson, Berenchek, Murataya, Davis, Martin, and you have Chamberlain and Cruz. So for Stank Davis to put this on pay-per-view is atrocious. Let's see. This is bullshit. Tank sexuals are crazy and not keeping us. Exactly. We know what time it is, man. Casuals will be fooled, and Tank's El Cuerpo boxing definitely suffers from zoonotic diseases. Wasis 19. Oh, that's funny. Casuals will be fooled. Yes. I mean, Canelo Alvarez got crucified for his choice of Berlanga. But Berlanga was top 10. Lamont Roach is actually 130, moving up. But you already know they will come and try to make a case for him and say that he's good. But he making 130 look like Hector Roach. Well, that's his MO. That's what he does. And you know what? But Tank Davis does have support. It looks like they're both. Lamont Roach is from the DMV, which is Maryland. And it'll be in Maryland, looks like, and it'll do really well. Now, as far as pay-per-view, I don't know, but they know they will have David Benavidez on there, probably fighting a subpar contender. Looks like I've heard Jesse Hart, who's a 168-pounder. Canelo Berlanga, 650. Yes, that is the rumor. It hasn't been substantiated. Now, 750 was probably a rumor, but 650, there's like news sources reporting it and people confirming it, but we'll know more. But it looks like it did really well. People were saying it was gonna flop, Tank, but 650 is a great number considering the level of opponent that Berlanga was, considering that he had really never been on the top level. But like I said, Berlanga had the names, man. Berlanga had the Puerto Rican support, and people were mad about it. They're not keeping the same. I thought it was gonna flop. Yeah, you know what, man? Look, if you listen to boxing heads, if you listen to enough boxing talk, there's no good fighters, there's no good fights. Everybody's trash. Everybody's a can. But look, man, if we look at the screen, we look at the names. All these guys are really good, talented fighters. And I believe this Chamberlain guy, I don't know if he's on the AJ card or he's on the Bivol better BF card, but he looks to be decent. Andy Cruz is decent, and he's 10. It's stacked. But all the top guys duck each other. There's Berenchek, who beat Navarrete, and we don't know what he's gonna do. Look, if boxing was consistent, we'd have consistently great fights. But Teo making the news just shows that, you know what, man, a lot of times there's just not a lot of fights. We have some fights this weekend, right? We have Dubois and Joshua's pay-per-view. It's $20, which is not bad. Is it a mega fight? No, but it's on a. Is it going to be a Saturday afternoon for us? Right? At what time is it? It's supposed to be in the afternoon. I'll be doing things. It's a Saturday afternoon. If it was at night, maybe I stay home, plot my $20, get drunk, and watch AJ. AJ is chinny. He might get slept. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit, guys. It's at 5 p.m. Wait, is that the start? Is that the ring walk? Or when is the start of the card? I know there's like fucking 10 fights on there. True. And all those consecrators that foretold the failure of Canelo Berlanga are now capable. Yeah, I seen that. They want to double down. I seen someone talking and he said, "Oh, I can't believe it did that well." Oh, that's, it's bad for boxing. There's people that are saying that Canelo doing well is bad for boxing. And their logic is that because it was a bad fight and they thought Berlanga was awful and it was an awful pay-per-view card, that it should flop. And the fact that it did well is bad for boxing. So it's like double speak. It's doubling down on it should have did bad. I'm mad it did bad. So I can't believe I can't believe that it did well. That shows that boxing fans are not really fans and they're just fans of Canelo. And here's the thing. I get it. That's fair. But I mean, as a boxing fan, you gotta want boxing to do well. You know, Tank Davis fighting Lamont Roach. I don't pray on his downfall. I mean, I'll probably be watching it, but I can say it wouldn't be with Beva Benavidez. It's good, but it's not great. But I don't actively sit and pray for anybody's downfall, even the UFC. I mean, if I could care less if the UFC is doing great or well. That's the other breaking news. Dana White is officially coming in back to the sport of boxing. They will be doing a new Contender series. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a Contender series with Rocky Balboa. That is how Sergio Mora made his name. Oh, okay. Starts at 3 p.m. Yeah, I'll be busy, man. I won't be home till later. Usually, if there's a card at night, I will do what I need to do in the morning, but I'll be out at that time. Andy Cruz, yeah, didn't he get dropped? I thought, okay, so on Friday night, which is good, right? It is great. ESPN is promoting Jaime Mungia heavily. Jaime Mungia is being promoted very heavy. It looks like they lost Shakur. They're going back into the Mexican market. They might be able to sell some pay-per-views with Mungia if he's successful, right? Is he fighting? Richard Torres is on the card. Emiliano is on the card. So there's some bright names to look forward to. So there is some boxing, but boxing fans were never happy. We want the big mega fights. And like I said, so with the whole Teofimo, I want to hear what you guys think. Is it warranted? Was Teofimo wrong? I want some real answers. I don't want any fence sitting. Frank Bay, my thing is I think Teofimo was baiting. I think it's good. I'm gonna say what Teofimo was a good thing. Look, if you're mad, go shut the guy up. Go shut that motherfucker up. Look, Tank Davis, walk up and punch him in the mouth. Do it. Bud Crawford, I seen that Ellie Suckback, salute, like and subscribe Ellie Suckback. He's the one that released the Teofimo footage, and he's the one that said that I believe it was Teo that stepped to Crawford and told him, "You're scared." And Crawford responded by saying, "Let's fight now." We seen that similar. We seen Shakur and Lomachenko go at it. I guess Shakur walked up and was talking shit to Loma. And Loma, he's not known to be he's a foreigner and he doesn't really speak the language, like Canelo. And he's not about that trash talking. And he was like, "Let's fight right now, motherfucker." And Shakur, bucktooth, Ewok looking mofo, he just laughed and said, "You're scared of me. Take it what you will." But Teal's got balls, right? He's walking up to this guy, he's stepping to him, and he's calling him out. He needs to just call Tank out. Ridiculous calling out Crawford 2 weight classes higher. Well, no, Teal's at 140 now. He could easily jump to 147. It's Crawford who's 2 divisions behind, right? We seen him struggle at 154. Now, call it what you want, but Crawford did struggle. It was 115, 113. It was a close as hell fight, and he was lucky that he had Turkey's back, and Turkey had his back. Wink, wink. Al cuerpo. I want Bomac to do a clothesline on Turkey or jump from the corner. The challenge is try and break his shades. Ah, man. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Crawford is at 154, and he didn't look good. He didn't. Teo is at 140. He's 1 weight class from Crawford. And we know Crawford started at a lower weight class, right? He started in those lower weight classes. He's a big ass dude, but look, man, Teofimo's calling him out. Teofimo's calling him out for a dream fight, for a mega fight. And Bud Crawford doesn't want that smoke. Now, it's not a duck by Crawford. See, I don't pretend to be objective or unbiased. I give you my opinion, but I try to be objective in my analysis of the fight. And then once I have my analysis, then I give you my opinion, right? So my analysis of Crawford and Teofimo. I don't think Crawford's ducking Teofimo. But if Canelo doesn't give you the fight, what are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense that we can talk about Crawford as great when he's irrelevant. Crawford is irrelevant. They were trying to make a Crawford or Virgil Ortiz fight, and Crawford, Turkey, his sugar daddy, was trying to make it, and he doesn't want it. It would have been great. It's great for boxing. We can get Terrence Crawford. I thought he was trying to become undisputed. That was what he was saying in order to why he was fighting Madrimov, because that was his ambition, his goal. And then after the fight, I mean, I think it's pretty telling. Yes, he's looking desperate. He's looking desperate. Look, it wouldn't look desperate. Benavidez called him out today. I wish I would have uploaded that for you guys. Benavidez called him out. Benavidez called him out today. Benavidez is calling him out because it's like, look, man, you could go up to 160, go up to 168. Give us something. Give us something that we can say, hey, man, you're a real fighter. You know, you're giving the fans what they want, and you're trying to make trying to make the big fights happen. You know, that you're not just chasing a Canelo payday, because at this he looks desperate. He looks like an obsessed woman chasing. Look, Canelo Alvarez does his own thing. He doesn't need you, homeboy. He doesn't need you, doesn't want you. He already said it's not something he's interested in. And the only reason you're even relevant is because you have your sugar daddy Turkey. That's the only reason. So I dropped the link, fellas. If you want to hop on, you want to talk about Teo, is he racist? Is it bait? You know, like I said, I'm not trying to get into a debate about race and the implications of what Teo said. I just want to know, is this a desperate attempt by Teofimo? Is it clickbait? Crawford is buck. yeah, man. It's definitely a sugar daddy. If you want to talk about Jaime, and his fight, is it risky? Is Jaime gonna lose? The boy, does he have a chance? El Cuerpo. I think this started with Mikey Garcia versus Broner. Remember, Garcia showed Donkey Kong, asked Broner, showed him. Okay, I'm sorry. OG Blaze. I'm trying to keep up with everything at one time. I try to pay attention to the chat. Is the show, man. The chat is the show. You guys make it happen. I'm just, lucky that I have really smart boxing minds in here. I really truly feel. Now, yeah, we troll a little bit. It gets a little funny. You got haters, but at the end of the day, you got to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Delay. I heard Crawford touch Teo's face. Look, man, Crawford did it, in my opinion. What it looked like to me is you got a little small guy. Yo, salute. Thank you, Sarge. Excuse me, a real one. It looked like you have Teo trying to do whatever he can to get this guy in the ring with them. I remember there was a story that Fernando Vargas was chasing Oscar de la Hoya. And Oscar had said that he would never fight that guy. He for whatever reason, he didn't like Fernando Vargas. So I guess Fernando Vargas went to a parade of Oscars and was throwing eggs at him. And then finally Oscar gave him the fight. Oscar had said he would never fight him, but Fernando Vargas talked so much shit. And Oscar did the same thing with Canelo. He's like, I'm not going to reward this guy for, I'm not going to make him rich because I don't like him. He's like he came across as like trying to kind of a thug, a cholo thug, and Oscar was the pretty boy. Sergeant, you know the story where Vargas got beat up by hipsters? Yeah, man, Vargas was known for a lot of street fights. He was about it. And Emiliano Vargas, it will be fighting this weekend. Check out Emiliano. I believe he has the potential to be a future face of boxing. You got Richard Torres, but back to how shit talking plays a part. I dropped the link, guys. If you guys want to hop on, I dropped the link. Let me know. Let a player know out here, what time it is. Abel, 650K pay-per-view sales, $17 million gate concession. Hey, Canelo made out, and people were mad about it. People were mad, and they felt like Canelo was ripping people off. And you know what, man? It's fair. It's fair. Look, one thing you have to realize when you do, I'm doing this. It looks like we're growing. I'm very happy. One thing I learned, man, is I don't really try to argue. All I could do is say what I say, give you my opinion, and you like it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But to battle and nitpick is not my job. But I can critique. I can critique and tell you what I think of people who say that Canelo didn't do that good and they didn't want it to do well and it was a trash fight. It did good. It did good. And if you made a whole show, if you made a whole streams, if you did a whole month of content about how angry you are that he's fighting Berlanga and that it's gonna flop, well, you got A on your face. You're kind of looking like a hater, right? Now that like me, I may critique Tank Davis, but I'm not preying on its downfall. El Cuerpo, salute. I'm gonna add you. Hopefully, it's the real one.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, El Cuerpo, you were on. What's going on,
Okay.
brother?
What's up, man? So yeah, you know what? I actually heard that that isn't Lopez responding to what Crawford had said that he wanted to fight. He literally, I think, said two monkeys also. So I think that's what Lopez is responding to. Because I heard on the Boxing Voice, they were criticizing Crawford. Some callers were criticizing Crawford for being, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say racist, but more of like a clown because he said that he's willing to fight two monkeys or give him a banana. I don't know if anybody else can verify that in the chat, but I'm more than sure Lopez is responding to that.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. And you said
If
that was
if
on the Boxing Voice.
Yeah, the boxing was I tuned in and they were talking about Crawford doing some sort of tweet saying that yeah, I mean you guys should probably check what Crawford tweeted. I don't really follow the what do you call it, the Twitter or the what do you call it, the X, but they
Yeah.
said that Crawford that he said he's ready to fight any two monkeys can get it, and then I don't know, he posted like some banana emojis or monkey emojis, but I'm more than sure that's what they said on the Boxing Voice. So then I'm like I tuned into you now, and I'm more than sure then Lopez is responding to that. So that would mean that Lopez, as you said, is probably just trolling the situation. So it kind of makes sense. But you know what? Before I forget, I'm gonna say about the pay-per-view numbers for Canelo and Berlanga. I had actually was duped on those rumors too on the 750K. I guess because I got that info from what's that? It's that funny guy, Showbiz the adult. And then I saw where he got that link from like some website. But yeah, but Showbiz was saying something like 750. But I mean that doesn't really matter because remember that the Canelo and Plant fight that was $80 at what was it, like 800K pay-per-view. So that was like about 64 million. And then this fight was $90 and it was what 650. So it was about 5 million less. So in the end, it's still good, right? The pay-per-view numbers are still good because it's just 5 million bucks. Just, but it's 5 million less than the plant. So people don't really forget about the revenue, and they're just focused more on about the general number. But we need to remember that it was $10 more than the plant fight, so that makes a difference in the context of revenue.
Yeah, one thing as a boxing fan and talking boxing with people seems kind of silly. They call it pocket watching. Have you heard that term before?
Yeah, like just focused on I guess quote other people's
Yeah, it
other
sounds like
people's
dick
money or
riding. Like, oh, Canelo, he sold 650,000 pay per views, and he's got all. He's sold out. It looks like kind of like dick riding. But my opinion on it is that it's relevant because it means he's the face of boxing. When we talk about things like face of boxing, pound for pound, these are the things you talk about.
Yeah, I mean, not even just that. It's good for us to know where we're at in 2024 because at least Amazon Prime gets a good gauge on knowing what PBC are able to do, right? Because they obviously the end game is to hopefully sell like a multi-fight deal for Canelo on Prime, or even if it's just a one per fight basis. But it's good for us to know where we're at in boxing, because of course we go against all the pirating. So even with the pirating, right? Because they say the people like to joke around about the fire stick, what they call
Fire
fire
Stick
stick
Boys.
boys.
That lame
Yeah,
ass.
and so it just proves that, as you said, who's the face, or that the Hispanic Mexican American market is still strong. So that doesn't really matter. But the stuff. I mean, Mexico versus Puerto Rico has always been kind of a healthy thing in the game, and it's good for Amazon Prime to see these type of numbers, right? Because it just shows that it's still strong.
This is why I do it. Do you have a name? Do you have a name I'll call you? I don't, it's tough to always keep saying the whole, your whole
the, the
tag.
the cuerpo. Yeah, I mean, you
Okay.
can call me Switch. Before I
I'm gonna call
used
you
to go by.
Al.
Yeah, you can call me. I was thinking about that the other day because I go on some other panels and they literally say, "Hey, what's up, Al?" As if it was like
Right.
Al Heyman or something like that. I'm like, all right, whatever. So
Al Hamon. I'm gonna call you Al Hamon.
yeah. So, but yeah. So I mean, like you said, everything makes sense. I mean, it's good to be consistent, as you're saying, or
Well, I
transparent.
mean, you have to when you talk boxing, you're gonna hear so many narratives. You're gonna hear. I'm just gonna be honest. You're gonna hear like African Americans. They're gonna be against Canelo Alvarez. You're gonna hear Mexicans that won't say a bad thing about Canelo Alvarez, right? So
Mhm.
I look. It's all talking points to me. Like that's what I'm doing, right? So I'm trying to get a conversation started. Like I said, with the Teo thing, with the Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers, and I want to know what people think. So you came on here, you made a great point, and this is why I do it. Is that you mentioned if you love boxing, then Canelo doing well means more shows on Amazon Prime. And I don't know how people missed that. I guess I even missed it, but elaborate on that more.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I mean, Amazon doesn't need an introduction in the world as far as technology, e-commerce, streaming technologies, and they have like more than 200 million members worldwide. So I think I think it's a good thing that Al Heyman was at least able to get some sort of deal. I mean, that's big, to be honest. It's really, really big. It's not even like the same as like when Crawford's people try to do the what was that, Black Prime, or like even the Zone nowadays, because realistically Amazon just trumps them easily. I mean, as far as like who they can reach. So
Right. Okay.
I'm just really, really impressed that Al Heyman was even able to make that type of deal. It's really good, actually, to be honest. It like supersedes. Um, I mean, I want to be an optimist. It's good for Tank. It's good for Benavides. I don't know other the big names on the PBC island or the world, as they say, but it's obviously that it's good that Canelo Alvarez is doing good for himself. Is doing good for his own brand. Um, and Al, he's they say he's a good businessman. Obviously, he is if he was able to get a deal with Amazon Prime. So, and now I'm starting to understand why there are still some people in industry that still, they don't like Al Heyman, so they'll do their anything to kind of downplay it. Kind of like that Rick Glacier kind of guy. I mean,
Mm.
I get it, but realistically, he knows it's good. It's good for I guess fans like us, or Canelo fans, or I don't know how to word it,
Well,
but I'm
i-
sure you get what
isn't
I'm saying.
isn't one of the creeds and codes of American capitalism is that greed is good, that the competition is what breeds success. So
Yeah.
if we get these guys competing against each other, Turkey trying to outdo um, Amazon Prime and Canelo, which he tried to do with the Noche, and then now I believe Dana White is getting into boxing again with Turkey Ali's support. He's holding hands with Turkey now, so it looks like he made a deal, so to speak. But to me, all that's good.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you brought up Turkey. I forgot. I mean, even just the Canelo brand and Heyman, like just doing business with Amazon, trumps anything that Turkey's doing with the zone or the American market. Just because, I mean, Jeff Bezos is the dude, man. That dude is big time. He's big time. So it's good. It's a good start. We'll see where it goes. Let's see if PBC can continue doing bigger things on Prime. Um, because to be honest, the what would be better is for the pay-per-views to be cheaper, or something where Al Heyman could probably do as he once did, right, in the American market, where he was giving, free boxing or whatever you want to call it. So if he can do something like that again, but on Prime, that's good for boxing in general. And you know what, Frank, or Frankie, a lot of people might they might dismiss some of the things that Al did, or they might even forget about the pre Golden Boy era, that he stole them or whatnot. So whatever, people make mistakes. I'm sure. I mean, we know Al Heyman kind of like swindled that with what was his name, Schaefer. But
Yes.
people make mistakes, and you live and learn. I think honestly, Al Heyman knows he lost, and whatever you lose, and you got to come back again. So I think that's where we are right now. And Oscar's showing, he's very salty man nowadays.
Oscar is
Unfortunately,
doing his best, right, to stay relevant and G
yeah.
strings and his his I want to
G-strings.
say sex doll. she, she actually looks like a doll. Um Nothing bad against Oscar. You know what, man? Look, man, one thing like I've learned, man, it's for me it's entertainment. I don't try to bash these guys. It's all talking points. So, I know people don't like Oscar because he bashes Canelo. Hey, I respect him for what he did, and he's still doing. He has Ryan, he has Virgil. So I know a lot of the homies, they're like, man, fuck Oscar. He's bashing Canelo. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, as long as he has boxing and boxers, I'm gonna talk about him.
Right. Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to ask you, the subject, the topic today is Teofimo Lopez. I can't remember what you put. I'm trying to keep track of everything. Do you think Teo was wrong, or is it just clickbait? Was it racist? Do you think it was malicious, or was it just him trying to get a fight, and the people that are upset are just taking the bait?
No, well, I mean, it's like what I said earlier. I mean, and try and verify it yourself, but like I said on the boxing
Right.
voice,
Okay.
they
But what's
said
your
that
what's your take? Just off face value.
well, no, I think he's taking advantage of that situation. He's what you would call piggybacking off what Crawford tweeted, or I don't know if he tweeted or he said it, but yeah, maybe if you can see later on today, if you have time, look
Okay.
to kind of
So
go
you
into the
don't think
boxing
it
voice.
was like a malicious and racist attack?
Well, I think that's a good question, because that's what they were talking about Crawford. They were trying to figure out what did Crawford mean by saying any two monkeys, or I don't know. He said literally two, like any two monkeys can get it. And man, I can't believe I forgot to, but there was something bananas and two monkeys from Crawford. I kid you not. I kid you not. So then I'm looking at that thumbnail that you had earlier with Lopez. What did
Yes.
it say?
Let
He's
me
the lion, and
bring it up.
he.
Yeah, he said that's how he ended. He says, "Well, I'm a lion and lions eat monkeys."
So there you go, Frankie. See, it says he eats two monkeys. So he's literally responding to what Crawford said about the two monkeys. So I think he's doing good. I guess he's
He's being
trolling
a
the
God.
troll.
There's such they're a rascal, Like he
Mhm.
knows what he's doing. People underestimate Tio, in my opinion. He's smart. He's a smart guy. He plays stupid. Like Ryan, whereas Ryan, I think Ryan is kind of like ironic. He means what he says, but he's kind of funny. But Tio seems to really be thinking this out.
And you know what's crazy too? I'm sure Teofimo and Lopez. I think he's gonna do some work in the Reynoso camp. And if that happens, it brings more, I guess, maybe animosity, or maybe, I mean, just imagine if Crawford beats Lopez under a Reynoso, right, in a fight like that. If they do make that fight, then it might even stir, who knows, maybe Crawford might call out Canelo and in the post fight of that, or something
Oh
like that.
shit,
So,
that would be insane. You brought up something like I would have never thought of. But I did remember too, Canelo had said in an interview building the Berlanga fight up, he said, you know how he talks, Teo needs to fight Crawford first. Then I'll think about it. Something along those lines. But I do remember he said that Teo needs to fight Crawford first.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that as well. Who knows? Maybe they might be brewing something behind the scenes and we're kind of just being played,
I
so
think it's
we'll
all
see.
the above. I think these guys they use social media as a litmus test. They put these rumors out with opponents or talking shit. Like Benavidez called out Bud Crawford, I think today. I just seen the headlines. I wasn't really able to read the article, but now he's calling him out. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
right. And you
Servino.
know
I
what?
seen. Go ahead.
That's sorry. That's actually caused a stir now as well in the last 2 days. And I said that actually. I'm sure others have said it too, but I always wondered about the when Crawford beat Jose Benavidez, right, Junior, on
Yes.
how, because I'm sure you remember also, uh, what did Turkey wanted, Benavidez versus Crawford at 160, and then that was months back, and then
Right.
recently Benavidez had said, yeah, he can't make 160, obviously, but then he furthered it by saying, um, that yeah, he would want his vengeance or revenge for his brother, at 168. I guess I'm not sure, but yeah, there's some truth in all that kind of stuff. But we as fans, you kind of wonder, if Crawford and Benavidez was a topic, then obviously we remember the Jose Benavidez fight as well, right? So all those connected dot things make sense.
And that man, excellent point. You're right. You're right. He did fight Benavidez. That would be a storyline. There's a rivalry there, a built-in rivalry. I think he did say Crawford had said he would beat the burritos out of Benavidez during the buildup of that fight. you
Yeah.
know, so they say, oh, how come African Americans could say things like that, but if it's reverse, right? And I'll beat Salute Chillin Distributors. I'll beat the chillins out of you. You'll get canceled, like. But what I said in my thing about the whole race thing and what Tio's saying is that you're just taking the bait, right? When people say that about, I'm assuming you're Latino, Mexican heritage, or Hispanic. People go by El Cuerpo.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. My folks are paisas, so
Okay.
like Mexicans. Yeah.
Now, when people, you've probably heard of bean burrito. Like, I'll beat the burritos out of you. Like, we're in gyms. You sound like someone who's been in boxing gyms. I mean, I hear it all the time. I never got offended. I just found it comical.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know what you mean. I'm more than sure everybody in the chat understands that too. Depending, I guess, on your fans or your following. But as you said earlier, maybe most people aren't really open on the tribalism in boxing. We all have
Right.
like innuendos and this kind of stuff, but it's good every once in a while to, uh, I guess, state these things, as you said, right? To be honest, I guess. That's funny, right? To be honest,
Right.
but no, I think it's good. I think it's good that we all have innuendos from whatever side, color, creed, whatever you want to call. It's normal because we know this sport is tribal, and I guess I'll give my theory as well, to back up what you're saying, right? Because I'll try and be honest as well. But I think right now what's happening is, I think a lot of fans are, I wouldn't say sad, or maybe they're in denial that Floyd's gone, and Crawford's on his way out. Deontay Wilder wasn't really the guy that they thought he was, and Tank Davis is not getting I guess, the recognition that he should be getting, or I guess, I'm sorry, the fights, the unifications, the championship fights. So I think a lot of, I'm gonna say, quote, opposing fans, they don't want to see, I guess, a Mexican star or a Hispanic star in the American continent having his era or his shine. That's basically what it is, right? Because if we're really being honest, I'm an American myself, right? I know that the de facto of most American athletes are African American, so we get that, right? But I'm originally from Chicago. I always rooted for MJ. I loved watching his fight for Pippen, but I never thought to myself, oh man, it's just a burden that there isn't really a Mexican basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm being realistic and transparent. So it's just unfortunate that I mean, if you followed boxing on YouTube for more than 10 years, let's say, it's pretty, as you said, if people want to be honest, right? A lot of people downplay other cultures or ethnicities, and you can just tell by the statistics who calls in, right? It's not a coincidence, you know. For example, like in the boxing voice, a lot of his fans, I don't know if you want to call it fans or just dedicated followers, but a lot of them are also, African American. Let's just say black, and most of them, I want to say 95% or 90% maybe, usually downplay Canelo, or they like to share their theory on what Mexican fighting is or whatever. So like we
Absolutely
get it, we
facts.
get it, we get it. And good thing for Ness, because Nestor is always like in the middle. It's funny, he's always in the middle of it. He's of Dominican descent, and he tries to be as transparent as possible, but deep down he's seen it all, what, like 15 years in his mind. He's kind of thinking what you're saying, about the honesty, and it's hard for him, in my opinion. But I think he's got a great job, because he's in the middle of it all and he knows what's up. So it's a good thing that at least that Nestor tries to be transparent, that it is the Canelo era, and that people need to be aware of the double standards, like the hypocrisy of the double standards. And that's pretty much what his role is in his job, in my opinion, these last 2 years. uh, but as they say, don't get it twisted, he knows all this, and he gets his panelists on there to cause controversy, right? You need the formula. You need your Skip Bayless, is that what it
Good
is, or
cop, bad cop.
Steven
Yeah.
Steven? Yeah, so we know that, we get
You know, I need that too. I'm thinking about doing some different things here.
it.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
because
think
it gets
you do,
boring,
you
right?
do.
Yeah, it gets boring to me if I just I'm just gonna talk to myself for like 2 hours. That's boring to me. I like to have a give and take and push back. I just not trolling, but like you said, if he's doing a formula where he gets people that are gonna say controversial things, and it gets the conversation going, that's a good thing.
Mhm. No, I think your style is perfect, and always keep in mind that you're always going to have new gen fans always tuning in every month or every like 6 months. So it's also fine. You always got to keep it optimistic, and just got to keep working and keep going.
Absolutely. Right now, like there's no super fights. I think the next super fight is Fury and Usyk, but for us here in the States, it doesn't really do anything for us,
Hmm.
Canelo is, and I was thinking about the other day, you mentioned something about, the tribalism and where Ness stands. And I was like, okay, I know I'm a Canelo homer, right? Like you said, I let it I lay my cards on the table. I'm but I was like, am I going for him just because out of tribalism or because he's actually the best fighter? And I said, no, it's because he's the best fighter. I
Yeah.
give I give the
Mhm.
brothers their I say Crawford is talented, Stank is talented. Where I have a problem is the way they move. And if I say a black fighter, then I guess that's racist. If I say, hey, no, these Mexican fighters, they just fight each other. Virgil, they fighting Check, the toughest guy. Navarrete Valdez are gonna fight later. You're looking at the young guys, Vargas, Emiliano, Richard Torres. I mean, traditionally Mexicans are forced to fight the toughest fights because they're used as the piece to build the Eastern European, the African American. Even Manny Pacquiao was built off Mexican names. I mean, am I wrong or right?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
He said, "Yeah, sure."
yeah, I mean, it's not complicated, but I think it's yeah, I mean, go with what you feel. That's good too. I mean, that's the irony of honesty, right? Sometimes when you I guess what you believe is right, and if your fans, the people in your chat, if they acknowledge or they agree, then it is what it is. So
Well, no,
hey
I
man, keep doing
genuinely,
your thing.
truly feel Canelo is the best fighter on the planet, sans Inouye and Usyk.
Hmm. Well,
And
that's another thing too, is that sometimes I think it's more fun, obviously, to have themes that are not really related to the technical side of boxing, right? The techniques, because I try my best to also balance it, right? Because for me, the reason why I like Canelo Alvarez a lot, I've been in the gym for years as well. You want to try techniques that power punches are doing specifically, right? As we say,
Oh, now you're talking
like
about actual boxing. I like
yeah, I
that.
mean, it's with like, let's say with Mexican boxing, one of the trademarks is the body punching and the way you
Right.
move your what we call la cintura, the waist. And
And that's
Canelo
your
has a
tag
pretty
name,
good,
right?
yeah,
That's
he's got a really
what you
good
go by.
El Cuerpo. He's got a really good trademark, I guess, hook to the body, right? Just his power punching. And we haven't had that since, I guess, like, let's say like a Chavez, because Chavez had really good technique and form as well. But it's good in this era to see it at least from a super middleweight, right? Or I guess a middleweight to super middleweight. And I think it's a treat for a lot of Mexican fans or Mexican American fans, or I guess even if you want to be objectively speaking, it doesn't matter what race or where you're from around the world. Most boxing gyms and most coaches will always acknowledge his technique without a doubt. Let alone the defense and the offense, but the techniques on how you hit a bag, or even like the reflex bag, which is like a newer version of the double end bag. Like the dude's got it. The dude's got it. So that's why I don't really care so much, as what you were saying earlier about or as we agreed, the tribalism. We know what we see. We know the techniques. We know that the technical skill, and it's just a treat for us to see Canelo moving up in weights throughout the years, fighting bigger men. I mean, the power is there, and I think a lot of it is also the weight in his legs. It helps him plant his feet. So some guys don't have that genetic. If you look at Canelo's brothers, they're all kind of like husky. You know, I
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
know what?
down his mom, but
Um,
the mom is also pretty
sorry,
big too.
sorry to stop you. We're actually we got quite a few people here now, and I appreciate it. But I was only going to go for a short time. But I do want to say this to you because This is such a good topic. I was only going to go for 60 minutes. Sorry,
No, no
guys.
problem.
But I want to do a show. Let's actually talk boxing and what Canelo does. Maybe do some comparisons because when you're saying that, and I was saying the reason I am a fan is because what you said. I was hitting the bag the other day at the gym, and all these other guys are trying to emulate the Floyd style. And I remember that Floyd Senior had admitted that the reason what his style was based on was to beat Chavez. That his son was going to need to fight a tough Mexican, and that whole Mayweather style is based on how to beat Chavez or Duran.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what Canelo does, that would be the blueprint to beat Canelo is like the Floyd Mayweather style.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember back in the day that it was I think Roger Mayweather or I guess Mayweather Senior, that the Philly shell, and I forgot where he learned it from, but there's like, I don't know if it was from Detroit or I don't know where he's from in Michigan, but the Mayweather trademark defense, right? He actually got that from some guys like 40 years prior to that. So it's been going for a long run. Who knows? Maybe that style is gone now. Now that Floyd is gone, because even James Toney had his type of shell. I don't know if it's a Philly shell, but I think these styles are kind of just exiting the game. I want to say extinct, man. The purity of the Mayweather style is gone.
Well, something I think you alluded to was that you need people to train you to pass it on. I see guys working on the bag in the gym, and they don't have anybody working with them. They don't have anybody knowledgeable about how to deliver a punch, how to move your feet, how to parry. I was fortunate enough to have a professional train me. Um, so not I mean, and there's various styles, right? So you're gonna have different techniques of how to block a punch, how to slip a punch. But the way I was trained was more Mexican style, more sitting down, body punching, um, but also movement though. One thing, a lot of feet movement. Well, how to pivot, you know, similar to
Mhm.
like what Bam does. People are impressed with Bam being Mexican because they say, "Oh, he moves," like Lomachenko. and people were fascinated that a white boy like Lomachenko was moving like a brother. They try to say that he was moving like a brother, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's but even like in the Eastern Euro bloc, the pivoting is also very popular. So it's hard to say exactly where that who's really the originator of that style, but I just call it athleticism. And of course, there's gonna be different types that want to claim that style, but I think it's just general athleticism.
Would you definitely have to be athletic to accomplish those things. When I talk to I'm gonna end it. I gotta end it, guys. Sorry, Jose. I only meant to do an hour. I'm going a little past it. I'll be on live a little probably maybe Saturday. Well, damn, man. Maybe Sunday. But BDA I think is having open lines tomorrow. I might drop by. So go Cuerpo, go fuck with BDA. He has open lines. You can get on there. Jose, he knows BDA and he does open lines. And we could all talk. But yeah, man, we got to do this again. Talk the boxing.
We'll do. So they also do that StreamYard the way you do this link?
No, you got to download Discord. Go to his site. He'll drop the link for Discord. And if it's open lines, you get in the chat. And then everybody kind of just talks boxing.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, I do. I think I've done that once with on the Boxing Boys. Actually, I've done it probably several times. You're right.
Yeah, because I'm doing a short one today. And I won't be able to be on. I'll just cover the Dubois and Mungia fight, recap on Sunday if you want to drop by, unless I don't even know if I want to do Sunday because everybody watches football. But if you guys want to do it, we could do it.
All right, my man.
All right, brothers. Thank you, everybody. It was just a short show. We gonna be here. Check us out. Check out BDA tomorrow. He does the open lines. I'm gonna drop probably a Mungia Dubai breakdown. Since I'm not gonna be able to go live, and then watch the fights. Friday night, Jaime Mungia. We'll do some betting clip videos, who to put your money on, the analysis. Joshua could get clipped, man. And Teofimo is bait, guys. Don't take the bait. If it gets to a racial debate, sometimes those things are better left unsaid. People feel how they feel. And sometimes it's a joke. It's comedy, man. Take it with a grain of salt. It's boxing. Yeah. They punch each other in the goddamn face.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be out, guys. I'll see you guys around. Thank you. We
all right,
out.
Frank, you have a good one.
All right. Salute Alonzo. If that's the real Alonzo, Champy, Amok. Sorry, HLD. I'll drop the link next time. El Cuerpo, go check him out. He does good videos. Like, subscribe to him. I am Batman. Eric Gomez, Sergeant, Blaze, Get Chingue, Amok. Amok's a real one. Alfredo, Chitlin Distributor, 18th Street. All right, guys. We're going to have to get out of here, man. It was a short one. Just wanted to take the bait, so to speak. Peace.
Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terrence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay. All right. So whoever you don't care which one of them you fight.
They say they're gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. Let's go.
All right.